Hey there, retro fans and cartoon connoisseurs. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a trip down memory lane, but not to the usual suspects like He-Man or Transformers. Oh no, we're diving a little deeper into the wonderfully weird and sometimes forgotten world of 80s cartoons. We're talking about shows that maybe didn't get the same household name status but still left a mark on those of us who grew up with them. First up, buckle your seatbelts because we're entering a galaxy of wild rides with Jayce and the Wheeled Warriors. If you loved futuristic vehicles, laser blasts, and a quest across the galaxy, chances are you caught an episode or 20 of Jayce and the Wheeled Warriors. This show, originally airing in 1985, threw us into a universe where humanity had spread among the stars, only to be threatened by the evil plant-like mind-benders. Our hero, Jayce, alongside his allies like the brave Oon, the gruff Herc, and the adorable furry Brock, were on a mission to find the scattered pieces of the Ring of Light to defeat the Mindbenders and rescue Jayce's father. Talk about high stakes. One of the coolest things about this show was obviously the Wheeled Warriors themselves. These were no ordinary vehicles. They could transform into awesome combat modes. Jayce had his battle beasts, Herc had his power sled, and they all looked incredibly cool in action. The animation, while typical of the mid-80s, really excelled during the chase and battle sequences, giving you a real sense of speed and impact. Did you know that Jayce and the Wheeled Warriors was actually created by the same company behind Mask and Centurions? That's right, Kenner Products. They weren't just making toys, they were building entire universes to go with them. The show was produced by DIC Enterprises, known for a ton of other classics. And speaking of toys, the Wheeled Warriors toy line was fantastic, allowing kids to recreate those epic battles right in their living rooms. It might not have had the staying power of some of its contemporaries, but for sheer vehicular mayhem and a classic good versus evil storyline, Jayce and the Wheeled Warriors truly delivered. From the gritty wheeled battles of space, we now transition to a world where magic and technology clash in the most spectacular way. Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light. This show from 1987 was truly unique. Set on the planet Prismos, a technologically advanced society suddenly loses its tech when its three suns align, unleashing an age of magic. Suddenly, knights are riding mythical beasts, and laser guns are useless against ancient spells. The premise alone was genius, right? We had two main factions, the heroic Spectral Knights, led by Leoric, and the villainous Darkling Lords, led by the ruthless Dark Storm. What made these characters stand out was their unique power staffs and totem animals. Each knight could activate their staff with a magical incantation, transforming into their animal avatar, like Leoric's lion or Darkstorm's mollusk. Yes, a mollusk. Don't laugh, it was still cool. The hologram effects on their chests were also a really neat visual touch. This was Hasbro's big push to create a new, successful franchise after the massive hits of G.I. Joe and Transformers. They really went all out with the toy line, which featured those awesome holographic chest plates and staffs. The show itself, produced by Sunbow Productions, who also did Transformers and G.I. Joe, only lasted for 13 episodes. Can you believe it? Just 13! It's a shame because the world building was fantastic, and the blend of fantasy and sci-fi was ahead of its time. The story even continued in a comic book series later on, giving fans a little more of Prismos to explore. Visionaries was a short but incredibly sweet slice of 80s animated brilliance. Okay, from grand galactic quests and magical knightly battles, let's take a hard left turn to something completely different and utterly charming: the Raggy Dolls. If you grew up in the UK or saw this show on international syndication, you'll know exactly what I mean. This delightful British animated series, which started in 1986, focused on a group of, reject dolls. The premise was simple and heartwarming. In a toy factory, 7 dolls are deemed raggy and imperfect. There's Sad Sack, a clown with a tear in his eye, Lucy, who lost her stuffing, Dottie covered in paint, Back to Front, whose head is on backwards, Princess, who's missing a crown, Claude, the French doll with wonky legs, and Hi-Fi, a robot doll with a broken voice box. Instead of being thrown away, they're rescued by the kind factory owner, Mr. Grimes, and live a peaceful life of adventure in the factory's reject bin. The animation was simple, almost storybook-like, but it perfectly suited the tone of the show. Each episode saw the dolls going on little adventures, often learning valuable lessons about friendship, acceptance, and embracing their imperfections. It was a show that celebrated being different, and showed kids that being raggy didn't mean you weren't special. The Raggy Dolls was created by Charles Mills and Molly Potter and narrated by the wonderful Neil Innes from the Bonzo Dog Doo-Dah Band and Monty Python fame, who also wrote the catchy theme song. The show ran for 116 episodes over a decade, which is an incredible run, especially for a children's show focusing on such gentle themes. It wasn't about selling action figures. It was about telling sweet stories and fostering kindness. For many, the Raggy Dolls was a comforting, gentle escape that taught us that it's okay to be imperfect and that true beauty comes from within. And there you have it. 3 unique and sometimes overlooked 80s cartoons that prove the decade was a melting pot of creativity. Whether you were into high-octane vehicular combat, epic magical clashes, or the heartwarming tales of imperfect dolls, the 80s truly had something for everyone. Did you watch any of these shows? Do you remember any other hidden gems from the 80s cartoon era that deserve more love? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing your memories. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, please hit that like button, subscribe for more retro content, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.